Welcome back. This time we're talking about Legion, Season 1, Episode 3, Chapter 3. Now, I have to once again apologize because once again I'm woefully behind on getting this review up. I hope to have a review for the 4th episode up by the end of the weekend, and hopefully by Episode 5 I'll be back on schedule. But enough apologizing, let's dive right into this episode. Now, much like the second episode, the majority of Chapter 3 takes place in David's head, as Dr. Bird and Tanami go into his memories to help him deal with his issues, as well as figure out what triggers his various abilities. Meanwhile, his sister Amy is still being held captive by the section agents. And then finally, we have another trip into his memories, this time with Sid accompanying them as well, when pretty much all craziness breaks out and they become trapped inside his mind, one by one escaping until only David is left behind, leaving us with another cliffhanger. Now, I might sound like a broken record, but this was once again a great episode, a mix of solid acting, great camera work, great storytelling, wonderful editing, just how they put this whole thing together visually. The audio, all of it just comes together to make a very confusing, in a fun kind of way, tale that just we have no idea what's going to happen next. Like pretty much all of the episodes, Chapter 3 begins with a odd mix of sequences, memories, flashbacks, hallucinations, present day scenes, all mixed together as we see Amy in captivity, some memory of David's with playing with his dog, and Dr. Bird talking to the coffee maker who's spouting out the story of the woodcutter and his wife. And as the episode progresses, David asks the question that we've pretty much been asking as well, and that is David actually insane? Originally, he was insane. He was a paranoid schizophrenic. Then we find out that no, he's actually a high-powered telepath. But that doesn't necessarily explain away all of the issues that he has. He once again hallucinates, potentially. That's a loaded word in this series. But we once again see Lenny talking to him while he's being tested. And then once they're in his mind, Tanami keeps getting blocked from going to certain memories. Is this some kind of involuntary self-defense mechanism of David's? Or is this something else, some other force that doesn't want those memories seen? We know from what we've seen in his mind of the devil with the yellow eyes, as well as the angriest boy personification that we've seen on multiple occasions so far. Are these one and the same? Are they connected? Is one the outside force while the other some kind of self-defense mechanism of David's? We still don't know. And considering this episode left us with David trapped in his mind, perhaps in Chapter 4 we'll learn more. Now, what was interesting in this episode is that Sid could see these manifestations while Dr. Bird and Tanami could not. Perhaps she can see them because she once possessed David's body and had control, or actually lack of control, of his powers. Again, we still don't know enough yet about exactly what these things are. Of course, we're also dealing with the section agents who are interrogating David's sister Amy, and the one guy actually refers to David as a god because of his abilities, and how that he wants to find him and turn him off to protect everyone else. Now, I do have to say there are certain things, storytelling wise, that I don't like, and I can typically see them coming a mile away, and I go, oh, are we really going there? And there were a couple instances in this episode where I saw those warning signs, and this show did not take that direction that I was fearing it would. One of them was with the sister, when David and Sid, getting tagged along, are in the room with Amy and her interrogators and can kind of see what's going on. And, the interrogators, trying to get her to admit that she knew there was something more going on with David than just paranoid schizophrenia, and how she just kind of abandoned him there. And I was worried that she was going to admit that she was, and David would get upset. Of course, that's not what happened. What actually did happen is that the Afro guy could sense that someone was in the room. And we did learn a little bit more about him, that he was involved with Dr. Bird's husband in starting this organization that she's now leading. I'm sure we're going to find more about him in future episodes. And the second scene was shortly before they re-enter David's mind for the last time in this episode, when David and Sid get into an argument over how he doesn't want her to go into his mind, and they kind of have a fight, and she kind of storms off. And a lesser show would have used that to build up some kind of artificial drama to just add extra drama that this episode really didn't need. It's got enough drama with the great storytelling that it has. And of course, it doesn't go that route, and these two characters in the middle of the night actually talk out their issues and come to a realization that he was trying to protect her from the things that he sees as the horrible things that he's done in his past, and she says, she doesn't care. She loves him. So, it's amazing, and it's amazing that it is amazing that two characters can actually talk out their issues before it becomes a true issue. Now, once they're in David's mind, for the most part, we're seeing a lot of the same memories that we saw in episode 2. With a little bit more information here or there, showing how they're connected, showing how David was breaking into his psychiatrist's office to get money for more drugs. We haven't actually seen the conclusion of that scene yet, what actually happened while David was in that office that night. And the other scene that we get is David during Halloween as a kid and his dog running away into this person's yard. And again, before we get to see exactly what happens, the manifestation of the angriest boy shows up and scares the boy. So what exactly is happening there, we're going to have to wait and see. But again, considering that David is still trapped in his mind at the end of this episode, hopefully we will see more of those scenes. So that really is the big question right now, is exactly what are these manifestations, and if they're external or part of David's psyche. And honestly, I just love that we have a show that's the sort of questions that we're dealing with. I've thoroughly enjoyed this show through 3 episodes. So, what did you think of this episode? What did you think of the new tidbits of information that we got from David's memories? What are your theories right now on exactly what the angriest boy is, as well as the devil with the yellow eyes? As always, you can subscribe to my channel, check out some of my other reviews, and until next time, try not to break the equipment.